All right, time to get into character. All right, what's going on, YouTube? It is Season 5 of Street Fighter V. Season 5? Season 4? What happened to Season 5? Do you guys know what happened? I definitely already have a Balrog guide on YouTube called Season 5, Balrog Changes. But apparently we're scratching that. 2020 wiped that off the map. Now it's Season 5, and we have a ton of balance changes, a ton of new mechanics changes, and of course, we got Balrog specific balance changes, and I'm going to cover them today. So what I'm going to cover are the general changes, the overall game plan changes, and my impressions of the changes, and see if Balrog, is he good? Is he whack? Is he that dude this season? I don't really know yet, to be honest, but let's break it down. So the patch notes were already released by Capcom. You can go ahead and look at those and see for yourself the specific changes, but I'm going to give some context to what the changes actually mean and what they will do for your Balrog gameplay. So the first change to cover is standing medium punch. What this change is, quite simply, it forces stand. If you don't know about Balrog from Street Fighter 4, this is pretty nostalgic for me. This move in Street Fighter 4, pretty much the same equivalent, close medium punch, also force stand. It was one of my favorite combo or frame trap tools in Street Fighter 4 because you also needed your opponent to be standing to get combo extensions with the EX upper. So they added that property to this move, and you might be wondering, okay, great, but what does that do for me? Basically, you get new combo enders. If your opponent was crouching, you couldn't combo into your uppers. The only upper that would combo or hit a crouching opponent would be EX. So this means a few things, right? So this is the only special move that Balrog has that isn't charge. So if you were walking around playing footsies, you basically didn't have strong buffers or enders for your pokes because you couldn't go into anything without charge. You'd have to build charge, and then you could do something like a crouching medium buffer to EX dash straight or jab or whatever. But if you did it this and you're playing footsies, you really couldn't do much because it would just whiff. Now you can't. This actually enhances your footsie game a lot. This is kind of a high-hitting move, so not a lot of pokes will interact with this. This is something that I personally need to lab myself more. But, I mean, this is a huge change. It makes Balrog a lot more mobile in his options. Obviously, if you had V-Skill 2 stored, you had this option no matter what, right? That's the power of V-Skill 2 gives you the chargeless rush punch. But now, basically, you have that even without having the V-Skill 2 stored. So this is a buffer you can use now a lot more reliably to beat both standing and crouching pokes. The other thing, speaking of V-Skill 2, is that it gives you new combo enders that you can go to without having to burn your V-Skill store. Previously, if I landed this jump in, or I landed like this as a counter hit, the only thing I could do is a dash punch, because they would be crouching the whole time, right? I would get the hit, and if I did this into this, there was nothing I could do besides dash punch to hit him crouching. I could maybe go into the low, right? I could do something like this, go into the low, but the Oki on that's not that great. It's decent if you spend bar, really good if you spend bar. But this just gives you another option to get like a counter hit confirm and then go into the upper. And that means that you still have your V-Skill 2 stored. So it gives you more flexibility and more synergy with V-Skill 2, because before you just had to burn it. And sometimes you do want to do that, you get more damage in corner carry, but a lot of the times you definitely don't. So I expect to see this in footsies a lot and as your combo enders, and it just helps you kind of expand your options there and have new routes. So that's pretty cool to see. The next one, standing heavy punch. So what they did to this move is they increased the critical art cancel window, and I don't know why. They gave this one more active frame, and they gave you 2 extra frames to confirm to critical art. You could do this, right? But they made it a lot more lenient, right? They gave you 2 extra frames, and I was already doing this for a couple seasons now, so I'm not sure who this is exactly for. But basically, if you're a Balrog player and you don't do this, you got to step it up. You should be doing this. You have plenty of time to confirm. Plenty of time to confirm. Whoops. If you ignore all my mistakes, you have plenty of time to confirm. So basically 2 extra frames on that, so it's cool. It's always been a super strong move to confirm into super, and it's always been a great poke, and I feel like a lot of Balrog players don't use it. However, there is a drawback to this. They gave it the Gief standing heavy punch treatment. I'll just show you. They gave it a fat ass hurt box. And that thing lingers. So you got to be careful about pressing this a lot more. It was honestly pretty hard to whiff punish before. So this is a decent nerf in matchups like Karen. I used to whiff this button or like just kind of throw it out there to control space a lot. But now you can very easily punish this. I mean, you can punish this from mad far. I mean, that said, you get a very good window to confirm it. Super awesome confirm, but a little bit more risk on whiff punishment. But, you know, that's kind of better for the game overall. They've been adding that to all sorts of heavies as the game has gone on. So it was about time Rog got something like that. So no big deal. Turn punch. This is going to be the kind of sequence of buffs that you see that are all just about improving damage. Turn punch. They went the lazy route to buff this move into relevancy, and all they did was make it do 20 more damage for every level, which is great. So now level 1 does 100 damage, and then each level does more damage after that. So that is 120 and so on and so forth. So that's cool that it does more damage, but there's no more utility. I mean, the move itself still kind of sucks. It's still -2 on block. It's still not as fast or as reliable as just doing V-Skill 1. So I would always choose V-Skill 1 as my anti-fireball move. The only time I use tap is for slow moving fireballs that stick close to the opponent, or fireballs that have like slow startup but fast recovery. Things like Urian Fireball. If you try to V-Skill around Urian's Fireball, you'll end up getting hit by the fireball late in the spin, but tap does have more fireball invincibility than V-Skill 1. It's invincible for longer. So for fast moving projectiles, V-Skill 1 is always better, but for slow moving ones that move slowly, tap is better. So they gave you more damage to incentivize you to use it, which is cool if you're using V-Skill 2, so you want to get around a fireball and punish them, but the utility is still the same. I still don't think it's a good move. This one's pretty big though. Dash punch. This full screen move is -4 on block, and in this case -3. It hit meaty this far out. So I'm not sure what heavy used to be on block. I think it was like -7 or something before. Medium was -6 on block previously. Now it's also -4, and light dash straight remains the same at -4. So they normalized the disadvantage for rush punches, all -4 across the board, which is kind of nuts because you can just throw this out from full screen and get in and hit them. Light punishes will still work. You still got to worry about characters that have good dash straight punishes, of course, but on a lot of characters, they don't have the best 4-frame tools, and you can just do this to get in. That's pretty good. Like, I've been trying to abuse that a bit more and remember it. So heavy, you like never really used. This is full screen. You kind of never used this in neutral before. Now you can. Obviously, there's a lot of tools now to punish that if it's obvious, and they could probably interrupt you, but it's still there. The other big thing is that they buffed the damage. Light is now 90. It used to be 80. Medium 100, used to be 90. Heavy is 110, used to be 100. 10 more damage to all the dash straights. But that's not the big thing to me. The big thing to me is this. That frame advantage is there on V-trigger cancel. They didn't just adjust the frames on block, they definitely adjusted the frames on hit. Heavy is now +6 when you V-trigger cancel, which means go ahead and get your medium kick. Get your full heavy dash straight after. But actually, that was already there before. That's nothing new. Well, what about medium? Also +6. This is new. You used to only get jab confirms from that. So medium dash straight, +6. You know, combo into medium kick after, get a full combo conversion. That's cool. But what about my light? +6. This used to only be, I believe, +4. So you used to only get like jab combos, but now literally all the dash punches have the same advantage on block and on V-trigger cancel. I mean, imagine you just throw this out and then you get all this. Like, you get way more damage than you used to from a random dash straight. So you can just kind of throw that out in V-trigger cancel and get more damage. On top of that, the advantage on block has changed. That was +1. Wait, that wasn't in the script. That wasn't supposed to be +1. That wasn't supposed to be +1. 0. 0 on block for all of the dash punches when you V-trigger 1 cancel. So you can't do this cancel with V-trigger 2, so this is a V-trigger 1 specialty. But I mean, literally, you could just throw out any dash punch and V-trigger cancel. If it hits, you get a full combo, and then if they block it, it's safe. It used to be like -4, -3, -2, or something like that. Like, the light ones were definitely punishable if you V-trigger canceled, and all of them were negative. So now it's actually 0. So you can just throw this shit out. Like, why would you not just throw this out and feature cancel? If it blocks, you're definitely safe. And then if it hits, oh sweet, it hit. If it hits, I said if it hits, sweet. Nice combo. I totally earned that one. Totally earned it. So yeah, kind of degenerate. I don't know. I haven't been throwing this out enough, but you can kind of just burn this and see what happens. So that is definitely new. New ways for Balrog to kind of force his presence. Another thing, which I don't know what to think too much of at the moment, there is one other buff or change, I would say rather, to Balrog's dash traits, and that's that the medium dash trait, they actually lowered the hit advantage from +3 to +2, but they said they reduced the amount of pushback on hit. So it's supposed to be a little bit closer, and I noticed I can do this after landing a medium dash straight. I can do standing light punch to frame trap and confirm the crouching medium kick. But that's the only thing I found so far that reaches. That's the only thing I found that so far reaches. So it's not like that much of a change. So I do this on a lot of characters. Okay, I guess it works on Rog, but a lot of characters, if you do jab medium after, it's not going to reach. So I tried this on G also, it's not going to reach. It is closer, I believe, but it's not by much. It's not heavy dash straight, right? Heavy dash straight, I can throw. I can definitely get any jab to counter hit medium confirm. But it's a little bit closer at the exchange of being a little bit less frame advantage. So you can't always just do medium dash straight into another medium on a 3-frame character. So more characters with 3 frames can get their turn back if you try to go for a medium. It's a bit of an adjustment. I'm not sure how this will shake out, but you at least get this, right? You can at least pressure them to jab after. Convert that if they get a little too frisky. And then combo them to the corner. And one last change on the special moves. The dash low also has 10 more damage across the board. So 70 to 80 on the light, 80 to 90 on the medium, and 90 to 100 on the heavy kick. So they just gave Balrog more damage on every special move except the uppers. So more damage all around, and I gotta say that's probably to compensate for V-shift. So I feel like Balrog's moves are all V-shift bait. Like if someone reads that you're gonna do a random dash straight and they V-shift your ass, you're gonna get styled on. It's not gonna be pretty, right? So inherently, when people have resources, all of your special moves are a lot riskier because they're kind of reactable. I think they wanted to give Balrog more damage for landing these moves because, yeah, he actually got safer on block, but in neutral, people can actually punish him really hard. So this is kind of the direction I see Capcom going in with this. Now, there's a whole other class of changes, which I'm kind of putting under the umbrella of the V-Skill 2 changes. V-Skill 2 has a couple new ways to set it up now, and they're pretty powerful. So here's your target combo. Here's the new addition. You can now cancel the recovery of your light, medium, heavy kick target combo into the V-Skill 2 store. What's great about this, it's +2. A lot of other activations end up being a little negative, but this one actually lets you keep your plus frames. So this is your go-to ender for like a lot of 3 frames. Like if you get a counter hit light kick, that's your only combo ender. And now you have a reliable way to get your V-Skill 2 store and keep the pressure going. So that's pretty fucking powerful for that. The other thing that you have here is the upper itself. The upper can now be canceled into V-Skill 2. So basically, any which way you go, like this target combo into V-Skill 2, this target combo into V-Skill 2, or the upper into V-Skill 2, you get a lot more ways to set this up, and this is also very plus, right? +10. I mean, this shit is mad plus. The plus frames vary based on the strength you do. The medium is +10 on quick rise, +15 on back roll. The light one is +7, I believe, on quick rise, but all of them, if you're in the corner, you can get a heavy kick. So super plus. And I think it all kind of has this synergy with these buffs to help you establish V-Skill 2 and keep it for longer. So they're definitely trying to improve V-Skill 2 overall, because just like this combo route, you have more ways to combo into the upper in general. So using standing medium punch, you can force stand and buffer and get the upper knockdown and get your V-Skill 2 going. And at the same time, you can also keep it. Like if I have V-Skill 2 stored, I have more ways to keep it so that I can use it for plus frames or whatever I want to do after. So there's a lot more synergy with V-Skill 2 to allow you to keep setting it up and keeping the store. I think that's pretty decent buff. I don't think you'll use V-Skill 2 in matchups where you want the fireball navigation, but V-Skill 2 is definitely viable, and I use it in a lot of matchups. So it's good to have more ways to set it up. Yeah, all V-Skills have the flashing V-Skill icon. So if you look at the V-Skill, anytime you have a stored V-Skill, it'll be flashing when you store it. Next thing is V-Trigger 2. This V-Trigger has literally been buffed every single season since it's come out, because this thing was trash. This is one of the worst V-Triggers in my opinion when it first dropped. But they gave it one more buff. You know, all the big buffs came from last season, or this season before in Season 4, where you could do a lot of new combo enders, like the light kick, medium kick combo ender, being able to do like this kind of confirm, and then all the Oki changes where you're like your point blank right after. So they didn't add any drastic changes like that. That's what made it viable in the first place. They just gave it more damage. So this does 20 more damage now. It did 180 before, now it does 200. So it still does a fat 350 stun. So it still sets up crazy stun, but actually does a decent amount of damage in its own right, which it didn't have before. It was mostly just a stun thing. So now they give it more damage because they just want to keep buffing V-Trigger 2. That thing has been buffed every single season. And then the last thing, which you might have noticed, there is a new animation for the critical art. Boom! Someone zoomed in real quick on that one. So the way it works, if you hit on the first active frame, the very first part of the super, you activate the zoom in and you get how much more damage? Like 10 more damage. From a distance out here, you're not going to get it. You're going to get 330 damage. But if you get the zoom in because you're closer, you'll go ahead and get 340 damage. And basically you can tell like situations where this will happen. If you do the basic B&B here mid screen, it's not going to give you the super zoom in. It's going to hit a little bit late. But if you get into the corner, I believe here it actually gives you the zoom in. So you're going to end up getting more damage in the corner with that same combo because of the way the super hits. If you do a grounded super, obviously you're going to get the zoom in. So you get different amounts of damage, basically kind of varying on screen positioning. Yeah, it's a little weird, but it's just more damage. I mean, there's no downside. So far, I haven't found any like different, more optimal routes based on this 10 damage. Basically, you just do your normal optimized combo and don't worry about how the super's going to hit. Pretty much every conversion in the corner will give you the enhanced super. Wait, that doesn't work. I'm stupid. So yeah, in the corner, pretty much any conversion gives you that enhanced damage. All I can say is cool. You get more damage, but it doesn't really impact your decision making. I think you just happen to get more damage in certain situations. So that said, Balrog definitely got a lot of buffs, but I don't think his game plan is changing whatsoever. The only thing is Balrog has to be more careful about V-Shift. V-Shift is almost a direct answer to moves that project you across the screen that you can react to. So I think the thought process with Capcom was give more damage to the moves that Balrog already has because they're more risky now. There's definitely going to be highlight reels of people V-shifting your dash punch and getting fat combos. So I think they recognize that this is all more risky. So they're giving you more damage on every interaction. And I think they also recognize that not as many Balrogs were sticking with V-Skill 2, so they gave a lot of ways for you to kind of set up V-Skill 2, keep V-Skill 2, save it, and I think that's really powerful. I'm definitely going to be messing with a lot more V-Skill 2. That said, where's the cross-up? No cross-up. Terrible patch, 0 out of 10. No cross-up, no buy. If you enjoyed the video, if you learned something, please consider subscribing to the channel. We just actually hit 40K, which is a huge milestone, but you know I'm shooting for that 50K, so if you learned something, consider hitting subscribe. We're going to do a lot more Street Fighter V content. We got all kinds of things coming up, so be on the lookout for that, and appreciate you watching. Peace.